Hello class, it's just me reading some more of the ancient Egyptian fact book. And it's really funny actually because my son, who's a year older than you guys, he's in year 4, so he did the ancient Egyptians last year. And I was just looking in his room, and I don't know if you can see this, but when he was in year 3, he had to make an Egyptian mask. And I'm just going to turn it around so you can see he's made it out of an old Cheerios box. Anyway, it made me smile when I saw it and thought of you guys. I'm not going to hold it up because if I do that, I won't be able to see anything because he hasn't actually cut the eyes out. So I'll be totally blind if I had this in front of my face the whole time. Anyway, I just thought, like I said, I would read some more ancient Egyptian facts. And if you do get inspired and interested in the subject, I know there are lots and lots of things online. The BBC website's got some great stuff. And I think even there's some sort of documentaries, particularly about Tutankhamun and Howard Carter, which are quite fascinating, just if you get the time. So where did we get up to? Oh, yes. We were looking at the pyramids and the fact that some of the pyramids, the Great Pyramid, took 20 years to build, which really amazed me. So let's find out some more interesting things today. So fact number 11. The Great Pyramid, the biggest of the 3 pyramids, was built as a burial place for King Khufu. He ordered 3 smaller pyramids to be built beside it for his 3 main wives. The boat, which probably carried Khufu's body to his tomb, was buried in a special pit alongside the pyramid. Number 12. The Great Sphinx at Giza guards the way to the Great Pyramid. It is a huge stone statue with the body of a lion and the head of a human. The feathers on the face were carved to look like the pharaoh Khafra. I don't believe it. A special handbook for tomb robbers called the Book of Buried Pearls gave details of hidden treasures and tips for sneaking past the spirits that guarded the dead. 13. Tomb robbers broke into the pyramids to steal the fabulous treasures inside. To make things difficult for the robbers, pyramid builders added heavy doors of granite and built false corridors inside the pyramids. That sounds quite exciting, but you could probably get lost in some of these pyramids. Number 14. Inside the Great Pyramid were 2 large burial rooms, 1 each for the pharaoh and queen. The pharaoh's chamber was reached by a corridor called the Grand Gallery, with a roof more than 8 meters above the floor, 4 times higher than a normal ceiling. Once the king's body was inside the burial chamber, the entrance was sealed with stone blocks. The last workers had to leave by specially built escape passages. You wouldn't want to get lost in there. 15. Supreme beings. The ancient Egyptians worshipped more than 1,000 different gods and goddesses. The most important god of all was Ra, the sun god. People believed that he was swallowed up each evening by the sky goddess Nut. During the night, Ra travelled through the underworld and was born again each morning. 16. A god was often shown as an animal or as half human, half animal. Sobek was a god of the river Nile. Crocodiles were kept in pools next to Sobek's temples. Bastet was the goddess of cats, musicians, and dancers. The cat was a sacred animal in ancient Egypt. When a pet cat died, the body would be wrapped and laid in a cat-shaped coffin before buried in the city's cat cemetery. The moon god, Thoth, usually had the head of an ibis, but he was sometimes shown as a baboon. The ancient Egyptians believed that hieroglyphic writing came from Thoth. 17. As god of the dead, Osiris was in charge of the underworld. Ancient Egyptians believed that dead people travelled to the kingdom of the underworld below the earth. Osiris and his wife, Isis, were the parents of the god Horus, protector of the pharaoh. Number 18. Anubis was in charge of preparing bodies to be mummified. This work was known to be embalming. Because jackals were often found near cemeteries, Anubis, who watched over the dead, was given the form of a jackal. Egyptian priests often wore Anubis masks when preparing mummies. 19. A pharaoh called Amenhotep IV changed his name to, another hard name, Akhenaten, after the sun god Aten. During his reign, he made Aten the king of all the gods. Should we do one more? Number 20. From about 2150 BC, pharaohs were not buried in pyramids, but in tombs in the Valley of the Kings. At that time, it was a fairly remote place, surrounded by steep cliffs lying on the west bank of the Nile, opposite the city of Thebes. Some of the tombs were cut into the cliffside. Others were built deep underground. Thanks for listening, Willow class. And as I said, if you do find out anything interesting or want to share anything you know already about the ancient Egyptians, please just email me in. Take care. Have a good day.